After years of watching from the sidelines, Apple just fired the starting gun on the foldable iPhone race. Samsung's factories in South Korea are now producing the screens that will power Apple's first ever folding phone, marking the beginning of what could be the biggest shift in iPhone design since the original launched in 2007. Picture this. Samsung, Apple's biggest rival, just secured an exclusive deal to manufacture displays for the device that could challenge their own Galaxy Fold series. The irony isn't lost on anyone. Samsung Display has begun production at their A3 factory in Asan, with a dedicated line capable of churning out 15 million foldable OLED panels every year. That's way more than Apple's initial target of 6 to 8 million units. But Samsung knows what's coming. When Apple enters a market, the entire industry shifts. The timing tells us everything. While Samsung released their 7th generation of foldable phones this year, Apple has been quietly watching, learning, and most importantly, waiting. This is classic Apple playbook. Remember how they weren't first with smartphones, tablets, or smartwatches? They let others test the waters, make mistakes, and then swooped in with something that redefined the category. What makes this foldable different? For starters, Apple's demanding something nobody else has achieved, a display with absolutely no visible crease. You know that annoying line that runs down the middle of every foldable phone when you unfold it? Apple wants it gone. They're working with Samsung Display to eliminate what has been the Achilles heel of foldable phones since day one. The specs paint a picture of typical Apple ambition. We're looking at a 7.8-inch inner display that unfolds into an iPad-like experience. When opened, the device will measure just 4.5 millimeters thick. That's thinner than any foldable on the market and even slimmer than the rumored iPhone 17 Air. It's the kind of engineering that makes you wonder how they'll fit a battery in there. But here's where it gets really interesting. Samsung Display isn't just any supplier. They're the company that helped Apple transition from LCD to OLED displays with the iPhone X. Now they're doing it again, leveraging 7 years of foldable expertise since launching the original Galaxy Fold in 2019. The multi-year exclusive agreement is unusual for Apple, who typically spreads their orders across multiple suppliers to maintain leverage. It shows just how much they need Samsung's expertise. The business dynamics here are fascinating. Samsung will be manufacturing displays for a device that directly competes with their own flagship foldables. It's like Ford building engines for Tesla. But Samsung Display operates independently from Samsung's mobile division, and supplying Apple means guaranteed massive orders and revenue. When you can produce 15 million panels annually for a product that might sell 8 million units in its first year, you're playing the long game. Let's talk money. Industry analysts expect this thing to cost over $2,000. That's Ferrari pricing in the smartphone world. Apple's betting that their loyal customer base will pay premium prices for a premium experience, and historically, they've been right. The original iPhone was considered outrageously expensive at $600, and look where we are now. The timeline suggests we'll see this device alongside the iPhone 18 lineup in late 2026. Foxconn, Apple's main assembly partner, is gearing up for mass production in the second half of that year. While many components are still being finalized, including what's being called a liquid metal hinge, the display specifications are locked in. This is Apple committing to the technology after years of patents and prototypes. What's driving Apple to finally make this leap? The foldable market is still tiny. Only about 1.5% of all smartphones sold are foldable. But in key markets like China, where Apple has been struggling, foldables are gaining serious traction. Local brands offer innovative designs that make iPhones look dated by comparison. Apple needs something fresh to reignite growth in these regions. The ripple effects could be massive. When Apple enters a new category, they don't just participate, they dominate. Their foldable could finally push this technology mainstream in ways Samsung and others haven't managed. Developers will optimize apps, accessories will flood the market, and suddenly everyone will want a phone that folds. Think about what this means for Samsung. They're essentially helping create their biggest competitor's answer to their own innovation, but they're also positioning themselves as the indispensable partner in the foldable revolution. Every foldable iPhone sold puts money in Samsung's pocket while validating the technology they pioneered. The big question is whether Apple can deliver on their no-crease promise. Current foldables have made the crease less noticeable over the years, but it's still there. If Apple cracks this problem, it'll be a genuine breakthrough that could make current foldables look antiquated overnight. That's the Apple magic everyone's waiting for, not just entering the market, but fundamentally improving it. For now, those production lines in South Korea represent the first concrete step toward an iPhone that folds. After years of rumors and speculation, it's actually happening. The company that defined the modern smartphone is about to redefine it again. Whether you're Team Apple or Team Android, you've got to admit, the next few years in smartphones just got a lot more interesting. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video.